Hi everyone, it's Matt again, and today I'd like to give a quick primer guide to Disgaea. What to expect. What is a daily goal, to ensure that you get all the rewards every day, and what's involved in Disgaea. So,
Do it, dude!
just like Prinny's here, I would like to prime you so we could get off to the explosive start. Stay tuned.
Hey, dude!
But we gotta get everybody primed, just like you, buddy. So, daily activities here. Basically, there are five things that you need to do every day. And we're going to kind of go over this in detail. So, if you're really busy, but you want to make sure that you get all the rewards, at least to you, it takes a beginning person around 10 minutes to get it done. And once you get really into the game, you can pretty much finish everything, I would say, in a 5 minute standpoint. Or if you have some skip tickets, you could probably get it a little even less than that. So this game doesn't really require you to be super active all the time. But it is good to be fairly active and at least log in once a day. The first thing that you do is every day you get a free character summon. It could be a 2 star, 3 star, 4 star. Costs 0 magic stone. Very important to do so. This is how you build up your team on cheap. Uh, and, obviously got to do it. As in all of this, all of the Disgaea games, there's Dark Parliament here in Disgaea, and I'll explain a little bit more in detail, and I'll have a guide on this during in the game. That you need to pass an agenda in the Dark Parliament once, and this will give you a Dark Gate key. This is very important, getting these keys for Reincarnation, especially, and I'll explain that a little bit later as well. And just being able to build up these keys allows you to farm the materials when you have time, which is the important part. So passing agenda in Dark Parliament once is key. And this is actually something that once you get powerful enough, you can just do it pretty much instantaneously. And I'll explain that a little bit more. You need to use 50 energy, which is in this game called AP. Is energy, some is stamina. This game calls it action points. So you need to use 50 energy on anything that requires energy. So as long as you use 50 energy, you earn some health on this one. You need to challenge the Dark Gate one time. For most people, this might be the longest one out of all of them. You can open one of the four of these Dark Gates each time for free, and it is important to do this anyways. Otherwise, you need a gate key. And the Dark Parliament is the free source of getting a gate key. You can earn XP Hell, which is the game currency, in case you don't play Disgaea. You can also get human reincarnation and monster reincarnation materials. The last thing to do is to purchase a piece of equipment. And these are basically the bare minimum of the daily activities you want to do in Disgaea so that you can get the 25 magic stones if you complete all of this. Now, you're like, 25 magic stones. In this game, a 10 pull is 150 magic stones, or a single pull is 150 magic stones. So, doing your daily activities is actually fairly generous, and just doing the daily activities, you can do a daily pull every 60 days, or a single pull every 6 days. That is very generous in most games. The only one that I think is a little bit more generous is Genshin, and even that, but those require a little bit more activity overall to do so, and it's still like every 4 to 5 days you get a free summon. So this is a very generous style that they had in JP, which look like brought in as well for here. So I would expect the same uh, overall freebies. There are other things that you can do, like the hospital as well, but and you can check in the hospital once every 8 hours. You get some free items there as well. But this right here is the bare minimum that you want to do every single day, so that you can, once you complete the top five here, you will gain the 25 magic stones for free. Of course, completing areas for the first time and getting those rewards get you more magic stones as well. But as a free to play player, this is how you're going to get. Uh, this is where your constant gaining of stones are. And as you get through the events too, you'll on average get around 3,000, 4,500 stones for each event, depending on there. So you can get 2 to 3 10 pulls through each event, and then you'll get another 10 pull every 2 months just by doing the day.
お、これはすごいです。
Summoning. So every day you get one free summon for 0 magic stones, and a single pull after the free one is 150 magic stones. You get a 10 pull for 150 or 1,500 magic stones, which is a lot lower compared to most games. The only game that's even comparable is Genshin at 1,600. So when you see the lower magic stones from each level, just make sure that you don't panic and go, oh, I'm not going to get that many summons. This game just doesn't require the massive numbers like a lot of other games. Most games usually require somewhere between 5,000 or so. Is usually a big number. Some games are as low as 5. So just think of this one. Each pull here is 150. The other thing about this game is the current max from a summon that you could get is a 4-star. There's not that many tiers in this game as there are in other games. So don't worry when we say, all right, we're looking for a 4-star. You can level them up higher in Mouse Lab and get them to higher stars. And so getting lower level dupes is still useful because you use them to power up your other more important units, and you can also do that to power up the lower level units as well. And there are some units in the game too that are useful, like the thief as an example, so you can steal that you'll use in the game that are 2 stars as well. So don't worry if you get a lot of 2 and 3 stars. They do have uses in the game. And basically, just think of it this way. You need 4 4-stars to turn them into a 5-star, 5 5-stars, 2 2-stars to turn to 3. So just use the stars. That's how many you need to go in to create the next level up. So the Dark Parliment is officially not open in the beginning part of the game. You need to complete, gets opened or released in the first episode of the main story. So once you do a very minimal amount of story, the Dark Parliment will open. So like on the first day, as long as you get through a little bit of story, you will be able to do the Dark Parliment. You are given 100 points or 100 Dark Parliment points a day, and you can use these points to do bills. The lowest bill requires 20 points. The highest bill requires 100 points. So some of the high-end bills you can only do once a day, and you've only got one shot at it passing each day as well. In the very beginning, you will only be able to really do 2 agendas easily, or 2 votes easily. And once you get higher rank, the easier it will be for you to get approval. This is a demon parliament. The more power you have, the easier it is for you to convince the other demons to vote your way. The 2 to focus on for a while is to change the name of a general purpose character. Basically just keep changing their names each day to get your completion for the daily. And you can also initially raise the customer rank of the RQ Shokai, which is the shop. And raising the customer rank of the shop gives you better materials that you can buy, which is something that you'll want to do because, once again, you need to purchase something every day to get your 25 free magic stones. The customer rank will get harder. Basically, when it goes away from 20 points, you want to stay there until you become powerful enough to start moving on up. So you're going to be doing that for a little bit initially. That is by far the easiest one. Uh, and remember, in Disgaea, you want to make sure that the highest level senators are the ones that are in your favor if possible. So, because power equals more votes. It is not one demon gets one vote. It's a level 100 demon gets 100 votes versus a level 1 demon gets one vote. So just remember, higher level, higher power, more votes. And also, they are demons, and depending on how many Disgaea games you have played, they may say, look, we fully support your build, and then they'll vote nay. And that's okay. It is random, and in the beginning, you don't have that many senators with the 20s because they're low level. They don't, or low bills. It's not going to bring a large amount of the Parliment to you. You might get goofed up. That's another reason to do the 20s. You can do it again and keep doing it until they pass, or you run out of points. So the Dark Parliment might actually stop you from getting to 25 early on, and occasionally when you get bad beats on some of the high-end votes that you could get later. I'll go more into detail once the game starts in the Dark Parliament, but I kind of just want to start priming you for what is in this game.
Actually, I'm the hero in this game, dude!
Team building. So, as stated, Disgaea here is unique in a way that teams are more important than a single character, which I know in Disgaea, when you play the regular game, you really build up one or two units, power them up, and use them to go through like the item world and destroy. But in this game, having a team is much more important overall. Alright, the importance of building a team. So, just would like to state again, unlike a lot of gacha here, Disgaea is much more team focused than it is on a single character. On later, in the very beginning, a strong character will allow you to go through it, yes, but mid boss level and beyond, and yes, I chose that for a specific reason, but you will need a team, and you will need to have a team harmony with the evilties that will all be equivalent there as well. And it's more important to have that than it is to have a super powerful single attack. The wave battle system here kind of really benefits your group being lifted up than just having one single person that's destroying everything. So make sure that you understand the unit's evility and how it impacts your team. And this is going to be kind of also a primer to on the reroll guide and who to really go after and why they are so useful, especially early in the game. So once you choose a team, these battles are fairly quick. They do give skip tickets in case you really want to use up your AP points very quickly at the end, or you're trying to level up lower level units on a higher stage. You can also use it that way. But the battles themselves generally don't take very long. They could be autoed, and you just go through waves. It's sort of more like a raid style raid system, or wave system, I should say, than some of the other more popular games. And maybe another one would be E7 too, so Epic 7. So that's more of that style game. Now, you can also, during these battles, you can lift and throw people, just like in Disgaea, and if pretties do explode. Now, what you're going to do is these teams are usually based on something called evil teas, which are their skills that apply to the whole team. Each unit has a set and has a main evil tea, which I'll explain in a second. One of the examples is Valvatore, our printing instructor, increases attack for all characters that are equipped with a sword in a party. This is one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful, evil tea in the early stage, in the beginning of the game. Most of your powerful characters will equip with a sword. We'll go through all of the 4-star characters in 1 second, but that allows you, obviously, a higher attack will allow you to go through and finish these wave battles faster, which gives you a better chance of survival. So let's go with these evil teas here. And this chart I will put a link to in the section down below if you want to take a look at this. So there are 9 4-star units that are summonable, and Etna and Fallen Angel Flan will be can also be will be sorry. Those two are free units that we'll get. Flan is from our registration rewards. Etna will be given to you when you get through the beginner rewards, or basically go through all the beginner tutorial and complete those quests. Etna will come with you. You can see that the sword icon is here. You can see that there are 3 units with 10s. Adele is 7 and Kilia is 9. There's a lot more units that can use swords than any other weapon. That's fairly consistent. Also to note that we have humans and monsters, and also male and female. These are important for the evil teas. And so I'm going to go through each evil tea and just kind of explain what they do. So Laharl will increase all abilities except for speed of the party by 10%. So that is pretty powerful overall. Doesn't have any unit limits. Basically, you have a unit, everything but speed is 10%. Off we go. Our printing instructor, Valvatores, gives 18% attack for the party if sword is equipped. So I would say these two plus Desco, who increases all abilities except speed of monster type units by 11%. I think those are the 3 highest, or 3 units that are by far the most useful throughout the entire game. We will see that there are other units that might have more uses for some of the other stuff as well. But personally, the unit that I'm going for is Laharl. Valvatores might be the strongest unit out of the 2, and people will probably say, look, go for Valvatores, and I don't disagree. But one of my rules in gacha games is go with units that you love. You're more likely to enjoy the game than to just go for pure meta. Now, if you're a large spender, then don't worry about it, obviously. But for me, I'm going to go with Laharl. But going for Valvatores or Desco is also a good idea. Desco is a little bit more limited, especially early on, with the monster units not being that many 4-stars. But increasing the monster unit strength is very useful later on in the game as well. So Desco is another good one. but from an early game standpoint, she's not the greatest, but she will become much more useful a little later on. So personally, I'm going to go for Laharl. And honestly, I'm hoping my reroll strategy is going to be try to get a Velvet Torres in the first non-infinite reroll, and then I'll go for a Laharl in the infinite reroll. So that's kind of my goal, but I am going to focus on Laharl. But the top two here, I think, are the best two, and Desco's an easy third, and then everyone else you can kind of just fumble around with. Killia gives a plus 18% for fists. I'm not a huge fan. Basically, it's just Killia and Adele that could really use fists, and Laharl can also use a fist as well. Velvator's Evil T is just much more useful. I will be much more useful later on as well. Especially if you're taking a look at the 5 melee characters in the game, which is Laharl, Mao, Velvatoris, Adele, Killia. They're all pretty powerful in sword, but Mao and Velvatoris are very weak with fists. So that's another reason why I suggest Velvatoris over Killia. You'll find that fist is a little bit more focused compared to swords, where as long as they're not gun or magic users, they will generally be very strong with swords no matter what. If Killia's was like 20%, then I would consider it equal, but it's not. Adele has a unique one where all abilities except for speed of parties plus 12 if equipped with fist. So if you are going to do a fist team, and basically it would be Adele, Killia, and Laharl, then this would actually be really powerful, because with Adele and Laharl you get 22%, especially if you equip a Laharl with the fist. He only loses 1 weapon mastery, instead goes from 10 to 9, which is barely a loss at all. So this is why I say building a team is important, and understanding what you want to build is important. Mao can lower the defense and res of enemies by 12%, which is, so example here. We have Killia, Adele, Laharl, and they're equipped with fists. So, and Mao is also equipped with fists, even though he's fairly weak with it. So everyone has 22% of all stats, except for attack, which is plus 40%, and the defense and resistance of enemies is lowered by 12%. Yes, there's 5, but I'm just using the 4 for easiness. So right there, you've got attack of 40% increase, and you're lowering the enemy's defense and resistance by 12%, which adds even more damage. And now you're understanding why this game is very important to focus on evil Ts. You can, once you form a team, you can really enhance a lot of units, and that will be very good for the overall game, especially as you fight harder and harder units. You can get farther with the same team if you focus on those evil Ts. Let's just finish these out here. Desco, we've already talked about, is the monster type for all abilities but speed at 11%. So Seraphina, all abilities except speed of the party is how many male units in the party times 5%. So if Seraphina is the only female in the team, she can then boost up, and there's 4 males, that's 20% there too. So theoretically she is powerful as well, but she's very specific, where she wants to be surrounded by male units. Rosalind increases the attack by 16% for male units in the party. I'm actually not a huge fan of that, because Seraphina's is actually stronger. Rasborough gives you party defense and resistance plus 12%. Cicely gives you intelligence plus 15%, which, if you're doing magic party, is great, but I think she has by far the weakest of the summon evil teas. So I'm not a huge fan of her evil tea. Etna has damage to female characters plus 45%, which, if you're going to be fighting female bosses, that is actually a useful one. But once again, you need to know what boss you're fighting or what unit you're going to be fighting to go there. And Fallen Angel Flan, party recovery plus 20%. What hurts me, I'm a huge Flan fanatic. I really wish I had more plushies instead of just figurines. I will probably use her more than I should just because I love Flan. But as a unit, she is not incredibly useful. Her spells are for healing and curing. And other than to enhance survival a little bit, it's just not really there. So let's continue on. So the last part that we want to go through is Mao's Lab. This isn't going to go into super detail, and once again, I'll make a separate primer and a separate guide for Mao's Lab, but I just kind of want to get through this. So, very important, Mao's Lab allows you to make various enhancements related to your character's needs. So you have Character Awakening. You can increase the level of the unit. So one, to get 5 stars requires 5 units of the same star and some hell. Demon Remodeling. So to get to 5-star, you need that. Demon Remodeling. With dupes of the character or a remodeled printing, you can increase the evil teas and overall strength of your character. This allows you to use your dupes up to make your character stronger, or you can purchase remodeled printies for units as well. Those are kind of the catch-all for there. The cost in hell depends on the rarity. 1 star costs 5,000, 4 star costs up to 30,000, which you can see in the lower right hand portion here. The other two I'm going to talk about a little bit more in detail: Reincarnation and Reallocate Mana. Reincarnation is probably the most important thing to go over. As in all the Disgaea series, you can reincarnate to become stronger. What reincarnations do in this game is when you reach the current maximum level, and go mad, current maximum level. So when you first summon them, their current maximum level is 99. Once you get them to level 99, you can reincarnate them back to level 1 and gain an additional 100 max levels. So go from level 99 max, or 99, and you're at max 99. Transport back to level 1, but you get 199 maximum level from there on out. So yes, you lose stats because you're going from level 99 back to 1, but those base stats are higher than you were before. So the examples is back up here. Laharl has 117 life or HP at the very beginning. It will raise up to like around 131 when you do the reincarnation. So yes, your base stats are lower, or sorry, your stats go back to level 1, but the base stats will be higher in all of the stats. And then once you get beyond 99, you'll become even stronger. You keep doing this until you reach the maximum level. Currently in JP it's 9,999. Probably in global the maximum will be around 999, but we'll see if they combine it to JP, or we have to wait a couple of months like JP did in order to get the 9,999. We do know that they are going to try to catch up a bit to JP, or at least that's what the developer has stated. So we will see exactly what the maximum level is when they do release it for global. You need materials and hell to do reincarnation. You get these via the Dark Gate. Human monster types use different materials, and so you have a dark 8 for each. Some quick tips on newly reincarnated units. Only reincarnate one at a time. If you get really impatient, you can probably get away with 2, but that's really risky. And for the first couple levels or the first couple of battles, you can lift them up to protect them while leveling up, and you can attack with them while they're in the lift party. And that will allow them to gain their levels so that they can become strong enough to become productive parts of the party again. The last part here is the reallocation of mana. I added a Japanese clip here. You can use this mana, which basically is used when you defeat enemies. You can raise your base stats of HP, attack, defense, intelligence, and resistance, but not speed. In this game, your speed is your speed, and that's it. You can reset this 3 times per characters. After that, you can reset using 30 magic stones, which is a bit expensive. Weapon mastery cannot be reset. So if you rank up your weapon mastery, it stays there. You just leave it there. That's it. You can see here that the you have 1 out of 9, 6 out of 10. You saw that the maximum fist there was is 10 out of 10 there. So you can get up to 10. So the more that you use a weapon, the higher weapon mastery you'll have. That's just an example here. You can see here that the attack here has 100 mana requirement and everything else is 50. So they've already leveled up the attack. So as each time you gain level, you need more mana to level it up. So this is another way that you can increase your cheat rank. And so it will tell you, oh, I have 5 attack here, 0, 0, 0, 0. And this is another way that you can help increase your stats overall. So I just want to remind everybody that we've got less than 2 weeks of before the April 13th is the release date. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope to see you here either on you can see me on Twitch here. Also, if you haven't given a like and subscribe, please do so. I will be playing this when this comes out directly, and when it does, I hope to see everyone there. Thanks. Have a great and successful week, and I hope you guys are just as hyped for Disgaea RPG as I am.